Welcome to Bold, a University of St. Thomas podcast where I get to interview Bold students and alumni. I'm your host, Isabel Garcia. Today we have a super duper exciting podcast with a full house. We have Cecilia and Natasha from the Filipino Student Association, and we have M from the Vietnamese Student Association. Guys, welcome to Bold.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. All right. So let's get started with tell me a little bit about yourselves. Cecilia?
Yes, my name is Cecilia Nguyen. I'm actually Vietnamese, but I am involved within the Filipino Student Association. So I am a senior here at UST, graduating with a bachelor's in biology and a minor in psychology. And I will be attending medical school after UST. So I got involved in the Filipino Student Association because of its unique culture. So like I said, I'm not Vietnamese myself, but I was drawn towards the Filipino culture and I wanted to learn more about it. And their events drew me in. I love the family aspect of it. Within FSA, we have little families, in which is translated to pamilya in Tagalog. So each of us have our own ates, older sister, or kuyas, older brothers that act as mentors and connect the student body as a whole.
Hi, my name is Natasha Nguyenphat. I'm also Vietnamese. I'm a senior and I am studying international business. Same thing, similar to what Cecilia was saying on how she was involved with FSA. I came to the school knowing nothing, and at one of the club fairs, I was introduced to FSA, and I always told myself to have the courage to educate other cultures. And so Filipino was one of the cultures that I didn't have a lot of knowledge about.
What's up, Buttercups? My name is Nguyen. I go by he, him, his pronouns, and I currently occupy Sana and Coahuiltecan lands. I am a post-bac junior nursing major here at UST, and I was transferred over here from UH. I did my first undergraduate there. I got involved with VSA there at UH, and then I also got involved with our two nonprofits that we partner up with, VSA South and UNASA, basically VSA at a regional and international level. And then when I transferred over here, I saw VSA at a career fair, and I was like, hey, I know what VSA is. Tell me more. And I got involved here as well in with this organization and community. What drew me to VSA was definitely, like they said, there's a family aspect with cultural orgs. We have, similarly, like Ate and Kuyas, we have Anji and Am, which just means older brother, older sister, and younger sibling, which is our family system. Alongside of that, we have great partnerships with the other VSAs within Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma with our region, as well as having leadership conference, leadership camps, and cultural events such as our culture show every year.
That's so awesome. Okay, and can y'all tell me a little bit about what y'all do for what does the Vietnamese Student Association do?
So this year has been a bit challenging, and I think we all agree due to the impact of COVID. We have mainly socials where we have members get together and have fun in general, but we also have cultural workshops as well as general workshop for leadership development and just in general learning. This past year, I did a workshop series where I brought in speakers from within the VSA space to come to online virtually to present different workshops. We just had one last week over cognitive therapy and cognitive learning from one of a great friend of mine that came to do our things. Our annual event of the year, which is our Tet Festival, or the Lunar New Year's Festival, was this past February, which is generally our biggest event of the year. Other than that, we have small get-togethers and events just so for our members to come out. And I think that's really important for student orgs in general, is we're here for our members, and anything we can do for them to get them engaged and proactive in our community is that's what we do.
That's awesome. And do you have to be Vietnamese to join?
No, VSA is Vietnamese centered, but not exclusive. So anyone can join and learn about Vietnamese culture.
Awesome. That sounds cool. Okay. And what does FSA do?
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to VSA too. We're, of course, like not Filipino. So there are different students that can join FSA. But this past year has actually been busy for us online. We first started off with a bunch of social events as well. We had movie nights where we show a Filipino movie and then like wind down the night with our members with it. We have game nights in which we played, what did we play? Among Us. Yes, that one. We played Among Us. And then we also have had a bingo night recently, a tie-dye shirt workshop in which we gave our members our old FSA membership shirts and gave them the powder to tie-dye with Filipino colors, like the flag colors. So that was our most recent one, but our upcoming one in collaboration with VSA is Keltphil. So Keltphil is based off of an annual event that would happen with all FSA chapters in Texas and one chapter in Oklahoma, and that event is called Goodphil. So Goodphil is when all of these schools come together and compete in dance and sports. So with COVID and our members this year, we really wanted to keep them engaged and hopefully end the year with like one large event in person so that they can make those in-person connections. And that's why we decided to do this in collaboration with VSA to have more people to combine two different cultures and have a good time together. And this event will be on March 31st, this Wednesday. And we are playing soccer, flag football, and ultimate frisbee, but as well as incorporating different dances too. So we'll be bringing the bamboo sticks to do tinickling, and also VSA will hopefully have a dance prepared as well too.
Awesome. And how did you get into this leadership position for VSA?
For me, I've done other leadership positions within VSA before, both first at a local level with UH, and then after that, I went with our regional level. I did a lot of event planning. So every year we have a leadership conference around this time. This year it's it's the weekend after Easter. So the April 9th weekend, we have a leadership conference in Dallas, as well as with our international leaderships, which kind of changed cities. It was supposed to be in Portland a couple of years ago, but because of COVID, it's now online. So a lot of event planning and a lot of infrastructure work within VSA organizations. I guess for UST, after my first year here as a transfer, I got involved. And then because of COVID, we weren't able to have that second spring semester or that second half of that spring semester, but I still applied and I got into leadership here. And my goals were to grow the org since it's fairly new, just formed in 2019, and to build up the members and the leaders within our own community so that the org can continue to grow. So my history with the VSA has been a lot longer than my time here at UST, but hopefully my goal was to bring the knowledge that I have to grow the org here and the community here.
Awesome, thank you. And Natasha, how did you get into your leadership position?
Well, it started off when I was a sophomore. That's when I first started being a part of the FSA team. My first position was dance chair. So I was in charge of all three dances, modern, spirit, and cultural. And that was a huge challenge for me because I had zero dancing experience, up until my freshman year. But I knew enough to kind of get by and kind of try to challenge myself more to encourage people who never even thought about dancing in front of hundreds of people at the Goodphil event. And I am proud to say that I was able to get a bunch of students and also student leaders to join FSA and make new friends and play sports and learn more about the Filipino culture, especially eating Filipino food for the first time. And so, yeah, it's been a great 3 years of being a part of the FSA team. I mean, last year it kind of cut short. I was a Goodfield coordinator, and Goodfield unfortunately didn't happen. And then up till now, being the vice president, it's just so nice to see how big our FSA club has grown. But also I've learned how to work with students, especially other student leaders, from being an orientation leader.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Okay, and Cecilia, how did you get into your leadership position?
So Natasha and I were kind of on the same boat. We actually met each other before we attended UST. So we were like there together during orientation, walking through club fair. And that's when we were interested in FSA because like Am said, VSA was not established when we were here. So we joined FSA and then we kind of went up in leadership positions together. So when Natasha came in sophomore year, I was also an officer my sophomore year as the treasurer.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that's awesome that what y'all are doing. And what other events do y'all have coming up, Natasha?
So in collaboration with Senate, campus community, and campus ministry, we have an event that is going to have a vigil mass and kind of like a town hall. We haven't came up with a definite name of the event because the main purpose for this event is to remember those who were victims against like racial discrimination. So we're focusing with the AAPI community because of what everything has been going on for the past couple of weeks, but also the whole town hall conversation is an opportunity for everyone who has been experiencing racial discrimination from a young age or up till now, whether it's on campus or outside of campus. It's just a good opportunity for students to use their voice, especially for those who've been too scared to be heard, and they want to be heard. They want people to listen and understand. And so I feel like this event can open more and people can just grow and learn and make this CELT community better than it already is.
For this event, not only are the students sharing their experience, but also raising awareness of what is happening on. So a little bit background of what is happening in our AAPI community is that there has been some hate crimes towards our elderly. So our elderlies are being affected. They can be walking during broad daylight and then they're attacked out of nowhere. And this has occurred in multiple locations as well. And so we wanted to raise our voices in that sense because our elderly, like me, my family, I'm a first generation student here. So my grandma doesn't know how to speak English, although like she has been living here for so many years. She still does like get scared of talking to people or when people approach her because she honestly doesn't know how to keep the conversation going or do not understand what they're saying. So as the younger generation, as we are the ones answering phone calls for them, translating emails or letters for them, we should be the ones voicing or like speaking up for them because they cannot. And our parents came here because they were really willing to sacrifice and push aside that fear for something greater for us. And it's now our time to give back to them because look how far we have gone, like become as student leaders. We have a place within our community.
Yeah, I think that's going to be such an amazing event. And what is your perspective and how important do you think it is to have this event for our campus here at UST?
I think it's imperative that we have an event like this to address these issues. we have the responsibilities, and I feel like I can speak on both of our orgs, to address the hate crimes against Asian or the AAPI communities as well. It is our responsibility to shed light on all these incidents and bring awarenesses. We have the responsibility to allow and create these safe spaces for personal narratives and dialogues, to address microaggression, address hate crimes, address the overall just the discrimination against Asian Americans in general. It is our responsibility to educate others on what all of this hate does, like to address what is microaggression. How do we offend others without knowingly doing so, if it's our intent versus our impact, as well as creating the space for all of our members to have a safe space, to have their voices heard, and to uplift those voices, especially those who are too afraid or can't even lift up their own voices. I think to follow up with that, because you talked about events, for VSA, we're also trying to bring up, since April's coming up, we would like to highlight Black April, as well as the history behind there as well. Just a quick tidbit, Black April is known in the Vietnamese community the Vietnamese American community as the day we lost our nation. In 75, April 30th was the day that Saigon fell during the war. And for a lot of refugees that came over, which is our parents' narrative and their stories, is that the day they lost their country and their homeland. And that is something that we remember to this day. And it's going to be the 46th anniversary, give or take math, of that event. So we're hoping to bring light with our workshop series to bring up, to understand, to know our history, to know ourselves and where our roots come from.
Yeah, of course. I think this is going to be an incredible event. And so you said April 12th for the 13th. How can we get more information about this? How can we know the date? Where can we find it?
Definitely through Instagram. I mean, we're definitely going to be advertising a lot to get students to come out. So check on FSA, Senate, Campus Community, Campus Ministry. Definitely will be releasing some flyers out on like Instagram stories and Instagram posts.
If you want a little tag, it will be at UST-FSA on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, check that out. Be on the lookout for that event. I think that's going to be incredible and super important. Okay, let's kind of shift gears here a little bit. How can people get involved in your different student association? Like, do they have to wait until the beginning of the year, or can they join now? Because all these events sound so fun, and I'm interested in them.
So I didn't know who wanted to go first. So for VSA, we have open applications throughout the year. It's just a member fee, but anyone can join at any time. And it's so really we try to make VSA as accessible to everyone as possible. So other than the member fee, anyone can join at any time and join any of our events as constituents.
Yes, the same goes for us as well. We do have a membership fee. So members can email us or DM us through Instagram if they're interested in coming, and then we add them to our emailing list to keep them updated with all the events. And then there are some requirements to get that active membership title, which is like attending one social, doing one fundraiser, 3 meetings, and what else? There's one service. So service is a big thing in our organization too.
Thank y'all all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. This has been an incredible conversation, and thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, my friends, this has been a Bold podcast. My name is Isabel Garcia. Thank y'all so much, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.